Okay, I see that Zachary K. Hubbard actually covered something that I'm going to talk about, but actually going to go a little bit different route, I guess. Mainly, the only thing that he talked about that I'm not going to is that if you look up Moneta, Virginia, it talks about where the location is along Route 122 between Bedford and Rocky Mount. Route 122 follows a bypass around the community, and we've talked about 122 like crazy. Even backwards, it's 221. 8-9 is the 221st day, um, and 221 is the 52nd day. Also on 8-9, there's 144 days left, and the 144th prime is 827, kind of like the date today, the 239th day. I'm sorry if I'm losing you. I'll post a numbers video so you can understand it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But it all goes back to the Pope's visit. He's going to be in Washington on 9/23, or he's coming like 9/22 at night, kind of like when Yom Kippur. It also adds up to 144 is happening. Tons of things with this. It's the 122nd day is even 5/2, the day Princess Charlotte was born. Um, and it even goes with Pope Francis and the visit. And I talked about in the previous video, or maybe whatever, I talked about how it says the Franklin Bridgewater on the screen there, and then it shows on the bottom the Pennsylvania, the NASCAR guy or whatever, the IndyCar guy, the wreck. So they're foreshadowing Pennsylvania or Philadelphia once again. But Pope Francis even adds up to 122 in Gematria, all kinds of stuff. San Francisco, the Philadelphia experiment. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. So it definitely all ties in to Pope Francis as well. But I just wanted to, I guess I'm going to talk about this really quick too. So it talks about this place was also popularized, however you say that, uh, popularized as the filming location for scenes of the movie What About Bob? And I mean, back in the Space Jam time, I talked about Bill Murray a ton because the 9 tunes go out, and then Bill Murray comes in wearing number 22, so it's 9/22, the day that Pope Francis is coming to the United States. So, and there was other things about Bill Murray, like he had some really strange tweets. He tweeted certain things about numbers, and then they matched up with prime numbers, and uh, but also the Minions movie. What About Bob? Right? It's a play on like Prince Charles, because what about him? Everybody wonders if he's ever going to be the king or not, because Queen Elizabeth just won't die, so he can't be the king or whatever. But it's interesting because in that movie, the Minions movie, Bob actually becomes the king, and he's sitting on the pale horse or whatever. So, I mean, I've talked about how I think Queen Elizabeth is going to die or be assassinated or whatever. I think she's going to die and he's going to become the king. The shooting, the whatever it is, Bryce Williams, or that's his real name, I think. That's what they tell you, or that's his anchor name or whatever. But he talked about how the reason that he did this shooting was because of the Charleston shooting. Um, and so Charleston, South Carolina, then where the Charleston church shooting was, and then that guy died in Falls Church, Virginia. But it was named in honor of King Charles II of England. So if if Queen Elizabeth II dies, Charles III will become the king. So I just find that kind of interesting. Also, this guy's dad, Charles I, was executed because it was had to do with the English Civil War, and they've been throwing the Civil War theme on us like crazy. That's why there's all this race and division. But hopefully I haven't lost you. And so anyway, I just looked up Moneta on the map. I just thought, I don't know, let's take a look at the whatever the highway there, the 122, and there it is here. Zoom way in here. It's actually called Moneta Road, even the 122. And I mean, I'm gonna zoom back out here. It's even almost in a line. I don't usually do all the whole whatever it is lining things up, but I mean look where Moneta is compared to Philadelphia, New York, Washington D.C. It's all, I mean, I don't know. It probably fits that line or whatever the people do. I just haven't really got into that, but anyway, I followed the road up and down actually, but I'm going to start with up here. So there it is, 122, and you can zoom in. It never turns into anything else. It's literally Moneta Road like the whole time. So I just followed it and followed it and followed it to see where it ended. So whatever, you follow it all the way up, clear up to here, where it says Bedford or close to there, and it stops right here. And look what it stops at. Look what it turns into. It's Highway 221, the mirror of 122 even. So the 221 is 8/9 is the 221st day. 221, like I said, is the 52nd day. It's all about that number 52. Man, and weird stuff happens. Even tonight, every night I go to the store and I buy 3 beers, and literally I never noticed until tonight that it comes to 525, like 52.25. Never noticed it until who knows? I've been doing it for like 2 years, buying the exact same thing, and never even noticed it until now. But yeah, the 221, 122, just thought that was interesting. So I followed it down too. I wanted to see where the road ended. So I'm going to stop. All right, so like I said, when it goes up, you can zoom in. It literally stays, it is 122 and Moneta Road, the whole way up to Highway 221. If you follow it down, 122, it's Moneta Road, Moneta Road, Moneta Road. There's Bridgewater. All of a sudden it turns into Booker T. Washington Highway. So it's no longer Moneta Road, it's Booker T. Washington Highway. Very interesting with all the race stuff, and then it turns into that. And I know it is in the South or whatever, but I just decided to look at Booker T. Washington. And, Booker T. Washington, so that fits in with all the race war or whatever. But I just wanted to show, so 59 and 42 have definitely coded around black people. I mean, just look at all these. Look at these words like slave, Negro, Obamacare. I mean, Eli Whitney died at 59. Cotton picker. Even Michael Jordan adds up to 59. October 6th, the 106 I've been talking about so much with Philadelphia and the Philadelphia train wreck and whatnot. Pedophilia, 59 and 95. The mirror even. And even Abe Lincoln was shot with a Philadelphia Derringer. We've talked about maybe the possible assassination of Obama, kind of mirroring what happened to Abe Lincoln. They have the theater shootings and whatnot. So just wanted to point that out, all these 59s and whatever, and 95 is the mirror. So the first thing I noticed about Booker T. Washington, he was born on the 95th day of the year. And he died at the age of 59. I mean, it's just another guy to add to the list of the 59 around black people. And even in Jewish gematria, the word kill is 59. And Pope Francis is even 59. So, interesting. So he was, says he was from the last generation of black American leaders born into slavery and became a leading voice of the former slaves and their descendants, blah, blah, blah. But his opponent was this guy, and he wanted to do everything like peacefully and gradually and slowly for equal rights and whatnot. But this guy just wanted to attack. So they were kind of opponents. But I'm going to show you this guy in a second. So anyway, he was born on April 5th and died on November 14th, a span of 223 days. So, like I said, 223 days after his 59th birthday is when he died. But it says his opponent here is this guy. And this guy, of course, was born on 223, kind of like 223. And he died 52 years ago today, to the day, 52 years ago. So interesting that would pop up. This guy dies 52 years ago. The 122 is 5-2 is the 122nd day of the year. This is the 239th day of the year. 239 is the 52nd prime. So interesting that that road would lead you to these two guys. And I mean, can you believe it here? Look at the age that he died. Age 95. The mirror of 59. I mean, go figure. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I scrolled down. They talk about him in the University of Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Negro, whatever, published the year. It was the first case study of a black community in the United States. But then it just mentions Frederick Douglass, so I clicked on Frederick Douglass. This had absolutely nothing to do with what the video started with, but seriously, look, 1895 is when he died, so 95, around another black person. So, I mean, didn't even do that extensive research, just thought that was kind of interesting when I looked at the road, and literally the 122 turns into Booker T. Washington Road, and then at the top, it stops, it turns into the 221, the mirror of 122. But I'm just going to add this in here. So I made a video about the 58s, and also there was stuff about Batman. You had the guy who impersonated Batman who died. You had Morgan Freeman's granddaughter who died. Donald Trump said that he was Batman when he was at the Iowa State Fair, all on the same day. And then the next day, Batgirl, the lady who played Batgirl, died. There's been a bunch of Batman type stuff. And I got a message from Explorer1 here. And he has a video where he's talking about the Batman theme again and Roanoke and whatnot. You come check it out. It totally makes sense. I'm guarantee I haven't done that much, looked that much into it. I watched the video and that was about it. But I mean, I guarantee it has something to do with it. It all ties in together somehow. But it's like the recurring theme is like the train wreck. And it seems like I've seen Philadelphia a ton, and they've been foreshadowing Bridge, and also San Francisco. I mean, it was all about whatever. I thought it was about just Pope Francis because he was named after St. Francis of Assisi, just like San Francisco. So who knows? Maybe it's something to do with San Francisco. But there's even the NBA connection with San Francisco and Philadelphia that we've talked about. So who knows? But what I thought of Batman again and Bridge and whatnot and Train, I thought of literally The Dark Knight, or The Dark Knight Rises, I believe, with the one with Bane. And on this movie, they actually blow up the bridge. And I mean, they blow up the football field. I talked about how the one guy's name was Adam Ward, and they have Hines Ward. He's the guy who runs the football down, number 86, as the field's blowing up. But right before everything blows up, the cops are walking down the railroad track, the train and whatnot. So I'm just going to keep playing this. The football field explodes. And then here at the very end, the bridge explodes. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. And it's not actually just one bridge, it's multiple bridges that all explode here. So who knows? I mean, I don't know if that's significant to now or not, because they tend to code Batman a lot, it seems like. Even with the Robin Williams death, even Heath Ledger, you even got like Jack Nicholson, who I know a lot of people have decoded The Shining, and it's definitely, that movie's like completely coded, whatever. A lot of people actually talk about that. I haven't watched it in a really long time. I even remember clear back when, where was it here? Remember when the guy kidnapped the people, Ariel Castro or whatever, and they had this picture when they found the girls, and then they didn't have a picture of the night, so it was the Dark Knight. This is ridiculous. So who knows? Gonna leave it at that, and just thought that it was kind of interesting about the highway and where it ended and whatever, and then how it connected to the 59 and the black people. So whatever. Have a good night.